Hey y'all, welcome back. Hope you had a beautiful Christmas. Good morning. Hey y'all, I'm so excited to be back. I want to talk about how to plan for your business for 2024. I know this is a hot topic, so I cannot wait to dive in. I am getting my good afternoon. Oh, it is afternoon, y'all. Morning for some people, depending on what time zone you're in. So let me get my notes out, y'all, so we can dive in. I had a great Christmas. I know some of you got my email about how my microwave decided that it wanted to give up the ghost. So on Christmas Eve, we went out and bought a new microwave, and then we knew we wouldn't be able to find a contractor to be to come out at that time to put it up. And I was like really ready to eat because my husband was doing some ribs and he makes the best ribs. So I'm like, I need to be able to heat up my food. And I'm like, I don't want to wait until, after Christmas. So I'm like, let's go get this done. So I ended up we ended up buying a new microwave and mounting it ourselves. And then we had to it's one of those over the range microwaves. So we had to the old microwave was a different brand. So the brand that I had, they don't sell the size that I need anymore. So y'all, it was a mess trying to get this thing put up, but we finally got it. And it looks really nice, y'all. It looks like a professional did it. So I'm super, super glad that that's done and over with. But when I think about that and how I went through the process, my husband and I, of getting this microwave up. There's a lot of things that we didn't know about installing a microwave. Well, first of all, hey Renee, first of all, I thought we were just gonna grab it, go pick it up, and just put it in there, because I figured like it's the same size, so I'm thinking we can just put it in the same brackets that are already up there. And so we ended up having to take the brackets down. And then um, we have a backsplash. So the drill that I have, I'm pretty, y'all. One thing, if maybe you know this about me or not, I'm pretty handy. As a matter of fact, when my husband and I first met, he laughed because I had a pink toolbox. But I used to go around the house fixing stuff and like, listen, I'm a pretty handy chick. I like to put stuff together. Hey, I like to put stuff together. Happy holidays. And sometimes I try to do things. My husband is a real gentleman. If you know my husband, he's a real gentleman. And if he's around, he's not watching me like lift heavy things, and he's always very involved and very hands-on. So what I do, I try to put stuff together while he's gone because I'm like, for me, it's fun. It's like a puzzle. Like I enjoy it. So I'm like, I got to do it while he's gone, or else he won't let me do it. So anyway, I'm pretty handy. So we end up trying to like drill this new mounting bracket, and we didn't know that the drill that I had was not good for drilling through ceramic tiles. So then we had to go out and buy new drill bits. Y'all, when I tell you, it was a job. Like it was a real job, but we finally got it done successfully. And I'm telling you this story because I feel like in business, a lot of times, this is how business is. Like you start out doing something and you start learning as you go. Like you figure out, oh, wait a minute, I need to do this, or I need to do that. You guys, if I never started, working on, get putting the microwave up, I would not have learned that, okay, well, you use different drill bits for drilling through different things. I've only ever drilled through a wall. I've never had to drill through tile. So I learned something new, but I didn't figure it out until I got into it. And I'm saying this because so many people don't move forward in business because the fear of the unknown. And the thing is, you really can't grow until you start doing. The more you do, the more you'll start to learn and understand. But what I'm seeing is so many people stay stuck because they're learning and learning and learning and learning and learning, but they're never taking action. And the key is when you're growing a business, you learn something, you try it. You learn something new, you try that. But listen, you could hire the best coach. I could sit here and teach you all day, and I love teaching. But if you don't take action, you're never going to learn what you need to learn. You can having the information is different from actually implementation. Okay. So you can hold that information, but if you don't put it to work, you're never going to step out. You're never going to grow. You're going to be in the same place, Next year, this time, you're going to be in the same place, but we don't want that, right? We want to grow, right? Because anything that's not growing is dead. Okay. That's one of the criteria for being considered a living thing is growth, right? So anything that's not growing is dead, and we want growth. We want progress, and it doesn't matter how much progress you're making as long as you're making progress. Renee says household projects take two. Yes, Renee, we did. We went to we went to Lowe's two different times to get this stuff. So it really was a learn as you go. But then afterwards, y'all, like it was so rewarding just seeing it up there because my first thought is usually, okay, let's call somebody, let's hire somebody, let's get somebody out here to do that. But y'all, let me tell you, you don't know what you can do until you try. So I hope that us, all of us going into 2024, we all have our own things that we're working on and the things that we're praying for. And I'm just hoping that going into 2024, you step into it boldly, even starting now, even starting today, you step into a new level of boldness so that you can execute. Because what's really going to grow your business is execution. You've got to take action. You've got to get things done. And you've got to release the fear of, okay, what is this person going to think? What is that person going to think? This is a bit, listen, you're called to this thing. This thing is between you and God and the people that you're called to. That's all you need to worry about. You, you and God and the people who you're called to serve. Okay. That's what it's all about. It's about you bringing glory to God by using the gifts that he has blessed you with to impact other people's lives. So as we talk about planning for the new year, I want to talk about some things that are important for you to be able to have a successful year. So the first thing I want to say is when it comes to planning out your year, always start with mapping out your vacations and your time off first. It's very important because many times when I worked a job, I had to take leave around whenever the job said it was okay for me to take leave. And so in essence, like my life was like around my job. Like everything was decided around when I could get off, when my husband can get off and things like that. But when you're building a business, you do it the other way around. Okay? You do it the other way around. Your business, you build your business around your life. And that's why I say always start with your time off, your special family events, the birthdays, the events. My daughter has dance events that I need to be at. That's important for me as a mom to be present for those things. So I have those things on the calendar for next year already so that I know, okay, I need to be present for this event right here. Also, time off, my vacations. I know when I'm going on vacation so that I can plan accordingly for my business. Your time off is crucial because you need that time to reset and and especially if you're working for it. I don't care if you if you take your time off and you do a staycation right at home as long as you have that time off on your calendar before you start putting other events on your calendar. So, if you need a printable calendar, just let me know. I can send it to you. I can send it to you on Facebook. Also, if you're on my email list, I will send out a printable calendar for you, a 12-month calendar where you can sit down and go through each month and mark off your time off and all of your launches and all of your business and life events. So start with your time off. And then once you went through your entire calendar, you got your special days, you got your holidays, whatever time you need off. The next thing I want to do is I want you to figure out what you're going to be launching and when. Okay. What are you launching and when? Okay. So when I work with my clients, I usually recommend that they run multiple launches throughout the year. Some people think, okay, well, I'm just going to launch one time. And you're so welcome, Renee. It'll be coming out later on today. I encourage my clients to launch multiple times a year because most people feel like, oh, they launch one time and it doesn't go the way that they wanted to. And I'm guilty of this, y'all. Like, if you have followed me for any amount of time, you may have heard me talk about how a lot of my launches failed because I just thought that, I would launch something and it didn't go the way I wanted to. And I thought, okay, well, that didn't work. Now I got to go create a new product, create a new launch, and do it all over again. Well, nobody told me that you launch the same thing over and over again. It took me years to figure that out. Like, okay, if you launch something You may get one client, you may not get any clients or any customers, and that's okay. So what you really have to do is you have to look at that launch and say, okay, what did I learn from this and what am I going to do differently? And so, but what I did, y'all, like when I had a failed launch, I would just kind of crawl into a cave and be like, I'm not launching anything anymore for a long time, and that would hinder my growth and it would hinder my business. And so, when I work with my clients, I help them to snap out of that quickly. Like, okay, what happened in this launch, and what are we going to do differently? When I was getting golf, when I was getting some golf lessons, my coach, she's amazing, y'all. And she heard me like huffing and puffing because I was hitting the ball and it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And she came over and she said to me, "Don't get upset. Like don't get frustrated or flustered." She said, "Just ask yourself, okay, look at the ball. When you hit the ball, what did the ball do?" And so I'm like, okay, so what she's saying is pay attention to what's happening with the ball. And instead of getting frustrated with what it's doing, figure out how to make it do what I want it to do. And so when you launch something, you have to take that as feedback. If it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, that's feedback for you. That's feedback for you to say, okay, you know what? I could next time I launch, I'm going to do better on this. Next time I launch, I think I'm going to do this differently so that I can improve it. This is how you get successful in business, right? You don't do what I did years ago and launch something and then crawl into a cave. You keep at it, you keep trying, you keep working at it. And this is one thing that I'm so thankful that I'm able to help my clients with when they try something and when they do something. I'm able to tell them, listen, that's perfectly normal what you're experiencing. Because they come and they're like, oh, this happened. I only got one sale, or I didn't get any sales, or I talked to these many people and this happened. And many times I'm like, that's perfectly normal. Or I'm like, your results are amazing, because to them they're like, well, I only got 3 clients, and I'm like, that's 3 clients in the first launch is amazing. you so you have to have that mindset of growth. You got to approach this next year with a growth mindset, knowing that, okay, I'm going to try some things, they're not going to work the way that I want them to work, but I'm in this thing for the long haul and I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep at it. So I want you to think about what you're launching and when, and in more than one, okay, multiple launches throughout the year. What are you going to do? What's on your calendar? What are you putting on your calendar for January? What are you doing in February? What are you doing in March? And you can even plan around like special holidays. Like if you want to do something for Thanksgiving or Christmas, or your birthday, special promotions for your birthday. You want to think about those things. So I told you previously, for those of you who watched a few weeks ago, I talked about how when you launch something, a launch really is simply a marketing campaign. That's all it is. So I know that the word launch can sound intimidating, but a launch is simply a marketing campaign. That is you putting together a strategic and planned campaign to market yourself, to market your product, to market your program, whatever it is that you're selling. Your launch is a marketing campaign so that you can be seen and you can connect with your audience and you can sell your offer. So this is why I'm saying you need to make sure you've got more than one launch on your calendar for 2024. The other thing about launching is I really highly recommend doing a planned and strategic launch. If you're new, if you don't have any clients yet, you should be launching. And the reason why I say that is because when you launch something, so many people are worried about, oh, I don't have the credentials, I don't have the 10 college degrees or the 25 certifications, or I don't have, 10,000 followers on social media. You guys, none of that stuff matters if you show up and serve your people. If you show up and serve people, they will see you for who you are and want to work with you because they can see what you can do because you have demonstrated that to them in a launch. If you are new to doing business online, I highly recommend that you launch so that you can get to know your audience, you can connect with them and sell your offers. So many times, when I'm talking about, and my clients, we always laugh about this because I'm always encouraging them to launch, because I know the power of launching and what it does for your brand and what it does for you and for your audience. Because every time you launch, you're going to get better. You're going to get better at things. I started launching, I think 2000. I've been launching since 2000. I think 2012, y'all. I think 2012 was the first time I did a launch. And I used to do webinars. I love webinars. Y'all know I love to teach. I love to talk to you and to teach you things. And so webinars were like my jam. So that is just one style of launching. There's so many different ways you can launch. The possibilities are endless, and you can make your launch the way you want it. You can make it fit you and fit your personality. I just mapped out a launch last week with one of my the week before last with one of my clients. We mapped out what she's going to be doing, how long the launch is going to be, what she's going to be talking about, and we made sure it fit her personality and what she wants to accomplish in that launch. So you want to think about what you're launching, when you're launching it, but you also want to think about the space in between. Okay, you got to have space in between your launches, because if you don't, your audience is going to get tired of you. Okay. Because they're going to feel like, well, every time I see Renee, she's trying to sell me something. Right. So you want to make sure you got white space on your calendar. So when you're launching, you do a launch and then you have white space in that calendar where you're not launching, but you're nurturing, you're connecting with your audience. Okay. When I say nurturing, I mean putting out content and engaging with your audience. So you're not going to be always launching. You want to make sure you got white space. So where's your white space going to be? If you plan anywhere, but at least six launches throughout the year. That's if you do 6 launches a year, that's a launch every other month, and that's giving you space in between, some white space in between where you can grow your list and engage with your audience. Okay. Speaking of lists, I'm always preaching about making sure you're building your email list. It's very important for you to be successful online. An email list is like foundational. It's just that's just a basic thing that you need to build a business online. I know that so many people do it without, they're trying to build a business without it. That's very frustrating, because if you don't have a list, that means every month you have to go out and find new people to sell to. It's easier to sell to people who already know you than it is to find new people to sell to. So if you're collecting an email list, you have a list full of people who already know you and they're ready to buy from you because they feel connected to you, because they know you, they've been in your launches. And when you send out an email saying, "Hey, I've got this event that's coming up," they're already ready to buy from you. If you don't have that list, you have to constantly go out and find new people to sell to. Your list is a major part of your platform as an online brand builder. So it's very important. So if you don't have a list yet, that's something that you can put down for 2024 for you to get done. As a matter of fact, let me see. Today is the 28th. Listen, you could have your email list up by tomorrow. If you just sit down and work through it, you can have your email list up by tomorrow, and you could be ready to collect names, okay? Even without your free opt-in offer. I do teach on how to create your free opt-in offer. I teach on how to build your list and things like that. However, if you don't have a free offer, there's some ways to build your email list without having a free offer, okay? So if you're watching, you're like, girl, what is a free offer for? A free offer is basically something that you give to people in exchange for their email address. So we say it's free, but it's really kind of not free because because they're giving you their email address in exchange for in exchange for that free offer. And that's how you get people on your list. But guess what happens? When you build your list, you're building an audience of people to launch to. So when you're giving away that free offer, let's say you create your free offer and you get 20 new people on your list. That's 20 people you can invite to your launch, to your webinar, to your challenge, or whatever it is that you're doing, to whatever you're putting together for your marketing campaign. Those are people that you're going to market to. You're going to invite them to that event. The other thing is, when you have people on your email list, let's say you have 20 people on your email list and you send out an email about a VIP day that you have. You may get 1 or 2 people to book a VIP day with you. If you have a course and you send that course link out, and let's say you're running a special for your birthday, and you send this special out, you may have 2 people buy your special. So imagine if you had 40 or 80 or 1,000 or 10,000. This is something that you want to do over time. Now, of course, you probably won't get 10,000 people on your email list overnight, but this is something that you want to work on constantly in your business in 2024. That's very important. Okay. So we talked about planning your time off, your vacations, your special events, your family time, putting that in your calendar first, and then building everything else around that. What are you launching and when? You want to think about, what am I doing in January? What am I doing in February? What am I doing in March? And then if you're one of those people where you're like, listen, I can only focus on one quarter at a time, that's a great way to do it as well. If you're like, okay, listen, I can only think about January, February, March. So I'm only going to map out the first quarter. And then as I get, some ways through the first quarter, I will start mapping out my next quarter. That's perfectly okay. That's another great way to do it as well. But you want to have at least a big overview so that you can start looking ahead. Let me tell you why this is important. So if I, like, for example, when I do my photo shoots, my photographer always asks me, okay, well, do you have anything special coming up? Do you have any launches coming up? Do you have any special promotions coming up? And I'm like, yes, I've got this on this day. And so we do photos for those events. The other reason why that's important is because you can start planning your content around your upcoming launches or your upcoming promotions. So you may do some affiliate marketing. I have an affiliate program where I pay clients $500. If they refer someone to me, I will pay them $500. I pay non-clients $300 if they introduce me to somebody and that person joins my program. So if you have something like that you're a part of, and you're like, okay, well, I know this affiliate, I got this affiliate program. Let me spend some time. Let me put that on my calendar so I can promote that, and that's just another stream of income, right? And so you want to have all of that in mind and planned out so that you can reverse engineer everything else that you're doing. So if you have a launch plan in, let's say, February, the first week of February, you're planning a launch, you could start planning your content out leading up to that launch. You could start working on, if you want to create a new offer to draw new people in who are going to be interested in signing up for that launch. So your plan is going to be crucial to everything that you do in 2024. Here's the other thing I want you to think about. Once you get your time off plan, once you get your launches planned out, and any promotions or affiliate marketing that you want to do, the next thing I want you to think about is your weekly and daily schedule. Okay, this is important for you to be successful. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is what I talked about, execution. You have to be able to execute. So for you to be able to execute, if you have a goal, let's say you got your launch for the first week of February, right? Everything that you're doing in January, each day is going to be building up to that launch. So you have to have a schedule so that you know what you're doing and when you're doing it. If you work a full-time job, you absolutely do need a schedule. You need a weekly schedule and a daily schedule. So if you work a full-time job, and let's say you've got 2 hours a day where you can come home in the evenings and work on your business. Even if it may not be 2 hours for everybody, maybe it's 1 hour for somebody, maybe it's 30 minutes for somebody else, but you will be surprised what you can do with 30 minutes of focus. If you sit down and focus for 30 minutes a day on your business and execute, you will be amazed at what you can have accomplished by the end of the week. So it's don't worry about, oh, well, I can only do 30 minutes or I can only do this. Listen, we make time for what's important to us. We make time for things that matter to us. So if your business is a priority, then you have to prioritize your time so that you can grow your business. And so if you've got 2 hours a night, 1 hour a night, 30 minutes a night, what are you doing to feed into what you've put on your calendar? That's what you have to think about. If you know you got a launch coming up, then that means you need to be focusing on getting as many people signed up for that launch as you possibly can. So how do you do that? Okay? You reverse engineer the launch date and your launch goals, and then you start putting your activities into your daily schedule, the things that you need to get done. This, y'all, it took me so long to really understand how all of the pieces of my business work together. So right now I'm actually working on a new free download. So if you're already on my email list, you don't have to do anything. I will send it to you when it's done. But I'm working on a free download where I'm talking about how all of the things work together in your business so that you can be successful. And it took me so long to learn this, so many mistakes, so much falling down and getting back up to figure this out. I just want to make it easy for you so that you can understand how all this stuff works together. So if you listen to all the stuff that I'm talking about today, you will gain a lot of information that you can go and implement on how on with building your business and making it successful. You'll get a lot of insight into some of the things that you're probably going to see coming out when I send out this new free download. All of these things work together so that you can be successful. But the thing is, you don't have to do everything every day, right? So you pace yourself. So you say, okay, well, the first week of February, the first week of January, I'm working on getting my email list up. And then after I get my email list up, the next 3 weeks of January, I'm going to be focusing on building my list. So while I'm building my list, I'm going to be also preparing for my launch the first week of February. So this is how what I just walked out for you is the reason why you want to have a plan so that you can know what you should be doing every single day. When I got out of the Navy, I struggled because I was so used to having my day planned out for me that when I got out, I was just like, okay, I don't even know what to do with my time. Like, what should I be doing today? What should I be doing with myself? So now I really put a lot of effort into helping my clients understand, okay, if this is where you're going, this is where you're trying to go, these are the things you need to be doing every day, every week, right? The thing is, some people are like, if I just knew what to do, I would do it. Like, I don't even know what I should be doing as an entrepreneur. Like, what should I be doing every single day, right? And some people know what to do every day, but they just don't do it. But some people, if they knew what to do, they would take action every single day. So you have to think about, it's just like if you're planning a party, it always amazed me at how we would sit down to plan a vacation. We would sit down for 2 hours to plan a vacation. We would sit down for 2 hours to plan a birthday party, but we won't sit down for 2 hours to plan out our year in business so that we can be successful in what God is calling us to do. So the thing is, when you put your plan together, that's going to determine what your activities are, what you're doing. That's going to help you to stay focused. The thing is, a lot of people don't have a plan. They don't have direction for where they're going, and therefore they don't have an understanding of what they should be doing every single day. Once you get your plan together, then you can look at that plan and say, okay, what do I need to do for this? Y'all, I'm telling you, just like I talked about planning a party, like if you know you're going on vacation, then you think about, okay, what do I need to do to get ready for vacation? Okay, so you're going to be thinking about, I know us ladies, we're going to be thinking about what kind of clothes am I going to be wearing? What is my hair going to be like? Do I need to get some braids? Am I going to be in the water and need to get my hair braided up? And then for me, I'm thinking about, okay, what do I need to get for the kids? I need to book the hotel. I need to get my flight together and all of those things, right? I love this. I'm a list person. I like to write. That is amazing. I love it. That's a perfect way to get yourself going, right? So since you're a list person, you could put out the thing that you want to do and then make a list under the big thing. Make a list of the small things that you need to do to accomplish the big things. And yeah, that I love that. I'm a list person as well. Listen, I'm the kind of person, hey, Elder Kim, I'm the kind of person who I'm such a list person that I will, if I do something and I didn't put it on my list, I will write it on my list just to cross it off. So I'm like, that's how much of a list person I am. So you want to think about the overall thing that you're trying to do, and you want to think about the smaller things that you have to do under that. Just like with the example that I gave with planning for vacation or planning for a party. Most of us cooked for Thanksgiving, right? So when you're cooking for Thanksgiving, you're like, okay, I need a turkey. I'm doing a turkey. So what do I need for for the turkey? I need to do this. I need to do that. It's the same way for your business. If you are planning a launch, right? You picture like in your mind, I want you to think of a launch as a party, right? So if you know that you're going to have a launch, it's just like if you're planning a party. Okay, so first of all, where am I going to host this launch, right? Where are you going to host this party? Okay, you think, are you going to do it on Zoom? Are you going to do it in your Facebook group? Are you going to do it on LinkedIn? Where are you going to host this launch? Okay, then who are you inviting to this launch, right? Who is this launch for? Who is it not for? So then the next thing you got to do is you got to get your invitations, right? So you have to go out, you have to invite people, mail their invitations, hand in their invitations, however you do it. You're going to walk it out the same way. And the reason why I'm explaining it like this is so that you don't overthink it, because you got to get out of that place of like planning, and then so that you can execute. So if and you can always start with what you know. There's a lot of area where it's like, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And sometimes you don't know how you're going to do it until you start doing it. Like how with us with the doing the microwave. A microwave is at least the over the range one, y'all. It's a whole installation process. I'm like, I thought I was just gonna put this thing up, mount this thing up, and just be done with it. No, I had to open up vents, turn the fans around, screw the fans back down, drill holes in the wall. Like all of this stuff started to come as I started doing it. That's what's going to happen as you start stepping into your next level of business. Some things you're going to be like, well, oh, I need to do this. Okay, let me go do this then. Just like how I was like, oh, well, I guess we need a new drill bit. Okay, let's go back to Lowe's again, right? So that's that. When you're building a business and you're doing something that you've never done before, you're going to have that happen all the time. You're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I needed this. But when you're committed, you're going to get it done. When you're committed to this thing, you'll just say, okay, well, you know what? Let me pause this for a minute. Let me go get what I need so that I could make this happen. So instead of sitting in a place of being afraid or not knowing, you get into action, and I promise you, everything is going to start to unfold for you. You get to a place, and then you start asking questions, right? You get there, and then you figure out that piece when you get there. So, for example, when I was working on the microwave, my husband, he already knew. He was like, you wanna do the drill part? I was like, yes, absolutely. You already know, because when you met me, I already had a drill in the toolbox, right? So there was one point where I didn't even know what size drill bit I needed or what size holes I needed to drill. I wasn't worried about that part until I got to that part. And then once I got to that part, I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to go, because I need a different size drill bit, and I need a drill bit that's gonna go through this ceramic tile. So many times as you're operating and as you're moving, you're going to figure out things when you get to that point. That's how you're going to be victorious. You get to that point and then you do what needs to be done, and then you keep it moving. Okay. So we talked about your planning for 2024, and y'all, I'm doing great. I'm at 34 minutes. So I'm doing amazing, because we're not gonna go for an hour. So I feel like I'm on track with my time. So we talked about planning for 2024. The first thing we talked about is making sure you've got your off time, your vacation time, your special times already marked off on your calendar, and then you plan everything for business around that. That's the whole reason why we start businesses, so that we could have freedom, right? We could have time freedom, we could have financial freedom. Don't allow things to come up and interrupt or disrupt your important things in life, your family time, your worship time. Like if you do like ministry events and things like that you enjoy going to, mark it off on a calendar. Usually it's around about this time I'm emailing people saying, hey, do you have the dates for the stuff that I know that I like to do? Like, hey, do you have the dates for this? Like some of you guys know, I do cleanses throughout the year where I'm eating all vegan. And that's tough because I drink coffee every day and I have a sweet tooth. So when I'm detoxing, like there's no sugar, no caffeine. And so usually during that time, I'm tired, I'm lightheaded because my body is pushing out toxins. So I don't want to plan a launch when I'm detoxing. I've done that before, and it was it was tough. I was rethinking my whole life. So this is the time where I'll be emailing saying, hey, do you have the calendar for the cleanses, so that so I can put the cleanses on my calendar, so I know, okay, well, this during this month I'm going to be cleansing, so I don't want to plan a launch during that time. So we talked about making sure all the important things for you, for your family, those go on the calendar first. It's very important, okay? Then we talked about planning your launches or your promotions. If you have things that you're launching, or if you have things that you want to launch as an affiliate, okay? So affiliate marketing is when you market somebody else's product and you get commission every time that product sells. So you can launch other affiliate commissions. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking about Kajabi very shortly because I'm a affiliate for Kajabi. And so they have a promotion coming up, and I'll be promoting Kajabi. That's an affiliate promotion that I have coming up. So you want to think about your launches and your affiliate launches, okay? And then you want to look at your own daily schedule. I encourage my clients to actually put your schedule together. I have a template for them where they can go in and type in what they're going to be doing every day. So let's say every day you got 1 hour free, where from 9 to 10. You could do so much in that 1 hour. I'm telling you, it will blow your mind. If you set a timer, see, for me, I get distracted quickly. So for me, if I have a timer set, I'm like, I gotta get this done because I got 1 hour. So for me, it's the challenge, right? It's the racing against the clock. So we have to do things for ourselves. You know yourself. I know I know myself. So for me, I'm like, I need to turn this timer on, because if I know that I got the timer running and I'm trying to get this specific thing done in an hour, I'm racing against the clock, right? It's like a game for me. It's like, okay, I got 1 hour. Let me get this done. So I'm staying focused on it because I'm like, I got to get this done in an hour. So you want to plan out every single day what you're going to be doing. Remember when I said, I know that entrepreneurship can be overwhelming, but if you say, okay, on Mondays, that's my content day. So my 1 hour that I have on Mondays, that's when I'm going to write out some posts for the week, or that's when I'm going to record a video. And you can say, okay, well, Tuesdays, that's the day where I go when I connect with my audience. I'm sending out emails. I'm talking to people on Messenger. On Wednesday, this is where I do my podcast, or whatever content that you're putting out. This is where I put out my new long form content, whether it's blogging, podcasting, video. And so you have your week planned out. This is very important. You plan it out, where you're going to do, how much time do you have each day. If you work a full-time job, it's going to look different from if you don't work a full-time job. So how much time are you going to commit to every day for focusing on your business? And you have to be very protective of that time, to where you're not answering the phone, where you're not watching TV, you're not doing anything else but that. And you have to, when I mean protective, when something comes to disrupt that time, you got to shut it down. This is how you get ahead, right? And I know that, listen, y'all, for some reason, we like to put things on ourselves. I don't know why some of us are like this, but we like to put a lot on ourselves. And then you're stressed out because you set this time and this deadline, and you have stressed your own self out because now you have to do everything that you can to reach this goal. And a lot of times, y'all, some of you may be able to relate to this, but a lot of times I could be pressed to do something, and then I'll pause and say to myself, well, who set the deadline? Like I set the deadline. But usually it's not that I'm not going to reach the goal or the deadline. It's just that I probably set the deadline or the goal too aggressive in the first place, right? Without considering all of the other circumstances. So don't stress yourself out or overwhelm yourself. You set things that are reasonable for you, and keep in mind that you can move things as you need to, but the most important thing I want you to do is stay committed. If you say every day for 1 hour I'm doing this, keep your promise to yourself. You will blow your own mind. Watch what God will do through you, in you, and through you when you say, I'm keeping this commitment to myself. I've dedicated this time. I don't care what's going on. I've dedicated this time to what I'm doing. So let me give you an example of what that looks like. So sometimes I have things come up throughout the day. So let's say I've got 1 hour planned at 8 o'clock at night, where I'm just going to get my tea and just work on my content for the next day. So if something comes up, like let's say my daughter had a dance rehearsal or something that I didn't know about, or something that came up at the last minute. So what I might do is I may say, you know what, this is going to take away from my evening. So instead of cooking dinner, you know what, I'm just going to go to Chick-fil-A and get the kids some Chick-fil-A, and we'll just have Chick-fil-A for dinner so that I can stay committed to the goal that I set for myself. This is how, like, you got to be going into this next year. You got to be focused and you got to be serious about your time and your goals. Listen, y'all, I don't like my time being wasted. See, my time is my love language. If I'm giving my time to you or to a thing, that's a love language for me, right? Because I'm really funny about my time. And this is one thing that's a lot of people don't know about me. I'm really funny about my time. And what I need the people who I love to understand is that if I'm giving you my time, that means I care, that means I love you. When I stop giving you my time, it's over. When I when I don't give you the time of day, that's it. We're done. Right? If I stop giving my time to a person or a thing or a situation, that's over with. It's done. Right? And so we make time for the things that are important to us. So you got to get into to a place where you're picky about your time. You guys, time is the only thing that we can't get back. So you got to be serious about your time and how you're spending your time. I had this talk with my daughter the other day about what you're doing with your time. So, she has a phone, and she's had a phone for probably about a year now. But she was spending a lot of time on the phone, on FaceTime and things, because she has like her little dance crew, the dancer friends and all that. And so it wasn't, a terrible thing, because she works really hard at school. And when she's off, I like for her to have fun because she works so hard. So she was on break on with school and everything. So she had the time, but I really had to just have a talk with her about the importance of choosing what you do with your time. And I'm like, it's okay to talk to your friends, but not for 3 hours, not for 4 hours. No, no, ma'am, we're not doing that, right? So I had to have a talk to her about, like, how to set boundaries and how to know when to shut this conversation down. And I talked about how great people become great because of what they're doing with their time. And it's the same thing for all of us. Think about what going into 2024, what do you want to become great at? And then that's where you put your time and your effort. If you want to build an amazing business, you got to carve the time out of your day and make time, right? A lot of us are like, oh, I'm too busy. No, you're not too busy. You just got to prioritize, right? You just have to prioritize your business. You have to shift your priorities, and so at different points, that's going to change. Maybe at one point, let's say the first quarter, maybe you're not hanging out. Maybe you're not going to dinner with friends because you're building out a course, or maybe because you're working on creating content or something like that. And then maybe the next quarter, maybe you can, change things up, but you got to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, right? So so you got to, build your tomorrow today is what I'm saying, right? Build your tomorrow today. So at some point, you're going to be able to do the things that you want to do. You're going to be able to bring somebody in to clean your house, and that'll save you time. You're going to be able to, order, Instacart more often so that you don't have to go out to the grocery store. You're going to be able to pay people to do certain things for you to free up time. You're going to be able to hire somebody for, to add to your team and things like that. But it all starts with you having a plan and executing the plan. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'm cutting off just at 45 minutes. So if you are on my email list, I'm going to email you shortly. I'm going to email the replay of this video. And also I'm going to email you a calendar that you can download and print off so that you can start planning out your 2024. Y'all, we got a few days left in this year. Don't wait until 2024 to start mapping things out, right? A lot of people get into the new year and they're like, oh, let me plan my year. No, because it's too late now, right? You need to start now, right? Start planning it out now so that on January 1st, you wake up knowing, okay, I got to do this today. I got to do that today. You got to stir that momentum, the momentum that you want to have for 2024. Start today. Start now, right? If you want to work out, if you want to start, working out, if you want to Don't wait until 2024. Get the momentum going right now. Okay. So for those of you on my email list, you'll see an email coming out very shortly with those items that I listed. If you're not on my email list, just go ahead and send me a message. You can message me on Facebook. You can message me on LinkedIn and just let me know that you want to get that downloadable calendar. I'll send it to you. It's free, no cost. I'll send it to you so that you can start planning. All right, you guys. So the next time I'm going to see you live is going to be next year. So that I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and I hope you have a happy new year. And I'll be seeing you again soon. Have a good one.